I got the jewels, I got the minerals, gold on my neck, call us your indigo. Because she gon' love me, she know what she need to know. This life so lovely, I go where I need to go. I got the jewels.
Big up yourself, everybody. It's a beautiful, beautiful day as we do another Hip Hop for Life. And you know what? Today, we're taking it in a completely different direction. Now, I know you're used to having all of that hype, artists in the studio, all of the energy, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to have the creators in the building and to feel their vibes. But today, we're going to be speaking to the people that help us to make this industry what it is. I mean, you guys are out there creating the music, but do you know what it takes to administer the music? Do you know behind the scenes, the publishing, your music rights? We're going to get into all of that today, because today I'm sitting with somebody amazing. She represents RISA. She goes by the name of Asanda Jaca, and she's a beautiful, beautiful individual. Son, how you doing, Asanda? Blessings, blessings. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You're such a cool person, and I think right off the bat, one of the first questions that we always do on Hip Hop for Life is find out, where did your love for this music thing and the music industry come from?
That's a rather long story. I'll try to cut it short. From a very young age, I've always loved the stage. I talk a lot. One thing that God blessed me with is so I can talk for hours. I talk. So it started when I was in primary school. I think when I was very, very young, around 5, 6, started doing Zulu dance around the community. From there, went on. My uncle started a girls Zulu dance group. It was more around preserving young girls and helping them learn skills, keep them busy, mostly. And yeah, from there, one thing led to another, and we ended up here.
That's so great. Wow, I would have never have guessed it. Now, from the Zulu dancing and the performing side of the arts, how did you transition into the business side of things?
So the group kept developing. I think it started in 2009, actually. I'd already been doing poetry, theater, and other things, and dancing at some point, and I don't look like it, but yeah. And then I think it was in 2015. Yes, in 2015, then it was like, let's start an academy. I've heard this idea for a while. Let's formalize things and actually have an academy, a place where we can collect more kids, not just a group of 10 that does Zulu dance, but collect more kids and do different things. And we had a lot of programs there, and I was doing the admin and coordination of everything. So I think that's where I learned. And then I was lucky enough to be invited to a meeting on behalf of my dad, and when I got to the meeting, they had cancelled it. And Kumisa was doing interviews for music publishing and artist management. They wanted to start a masterclass the following year. I was part of the first group. Kumisa is KZN Music Industry Association, I think. Yes, that's where I started, and I did a masterclass in publishing by Bumbu Phillips, and from there I got an internship and joined Sheer, and then I grew from there.
Wow, that's such an amazing story. I love that. And it also shows the inter-province connectivity. I mean, doing a masterclass all the way in KZN and then bringing all of that expertise that you learned in the masterclass into RISA. That's an amazing journey. Was it an easy journey?
No, but I had help.
Okay.
I had help, and I think for me that's the biggest thing. No man is an island. You can be independent, but you can't isolate yourself, or do not isolate yourself if you want to survive. It wasn't an easy journey, but I've definitely gone through different companies. I've met different people, and I've been helped by different people, and I've definitely learned a lot from the people around me. I've been mentored by different people in different spaces.
Do you think that mentor spirit in the business side of music is alive? I know that in the creative side, when the studio and the frontline side, it's kind of disappeared. It's kind of like you've got to find your own feet, and then when you're kind of successful, artists will work with you from there, but you've got to find your feet still. How is it on the business side?
I think it has kind of disappeared now, the same, but I think I also do understand why. So back in the day when we started, I used to attend a lot of workshops, a lot of talking. A person would gladly give out their number. If you have questions, please do ask me. But we're in the digital age. Information is there. The assumption is, you want to understand something, you can Google it. And sometimes you read something and it just doesn't make sense, and you need somebody to break it down in a way that you will understand, or in your own language for you to understand it. It's kind of dying down, but there are still initiatives, and there are still people who are just still keeping on it and be like, we're here, we're trying to educate the industry, we are willing, we are open. A lot of CMOs and other organizations like RESA, I think a year, like this year alone, like right now we are in, this is April, right? I think this year I've been part of a total of 12 workshops where we're speaking around South Africa. Okay. So there are still people who are willing and are doing it, and there are programs. It's just that now with information being on the tip of your hands, we kind of like, people are going to get it. Let's just put it on the website, put it on the socials, hoping people will get to it.
100%. And you know what, well, listening to you, I had something that came to mind. It sounds that you found a lot of success in going to a lot of these workshops, and by success I mean people that you can network with, people that you can find mentorship from. You found value from these different workshops, and I myself, I've attended a whole bunch of workshops where I've also found that the networking value within it, and people in the industry that you wouldn't ordinarily meet, you'd meet there. What do you think for this new generation is the value within workshops? Because I know a lot of these young kids, they'll tell you that, look, there's so many of these things going on and we're tired of people talking. We want action. We want to see this industry growing. We want movement. And most importantly, they want money. But they do not want to be talking anymore. Do you think workshops are still an important thing? And if so, what is the value that they can find in it?
I think for me, the workshops were there for a reason. Somebody probably noticed that, okay, there is a knowledge gap, and somebody needs to close it. Yes. And the only way for you to know that that gap has been closed is when people now start doing things the right way. Yes. So if we still have collection societies that are sitting with undocumented works, it still means there's people that still haven't learned how to notify their works, so there's still a knowledge gap. So that means there's still a need for a workshop. However, I think maybe there is a need for those workshops to kind of evolve as well. For me, I feel like at this age, like what you want to Google about the organization or the company I'm working for is there on Google. Yes. But what you are missing is now somebody practically showing you how to do this from step 1 to step 5, and then you're done. So I feel like there's still a need, but we need to make them more practical so that people walk away with something that they can see. Build a space where now people know what RESA does, but instead of me repeating what RESA does, somebody walks into a workshop and walks out, their queries that they had with RESA before coming in have been resolved. So if we do those kind of things, I think that will add more value to what we're trying to do. And also, us that are doing it, we won't we won't lose the passion, because the passion kind of dies down as you grow, because we can see that we're achieving something, right? We can see the growth in it, and we are also growing with it. Because I also started from workshops, but now I go there as a delegate, not as an attendee. So we want that type of cycle to happen. There needs to be a new batch of other speakers that are going to replace me, and I also need to move to the next level type of thing. And if we make them more practical, then that's going to happen. Yeah. So I feel like it's just that little bit of evolution that needs to happen on our side as organizers for it to be more interesting and stay relevant.
I love what you're saying. That's exactly the feeling that I had as well. The evolution needs to take place. I feel it's at certain stages it becomes very repetitive. As you said, we already know what Capasso does or Samro does, so we can't be hearing it at every workshop. Let's go into the nitty-gritty and get into the deeper things. And speaking of that, let's speak a little bit of your work at RESA, Recording Industry of South Africa. How important is RESA to the music industry, and what role are you playing in that ecosystem?
I am an administrator at RESA. So RESA is the mother body, the umbrella, and under RISA there's the official charts, there is the summers, there is RISA audiovisual.
Okay.
Right. My job for RISA is to do administration. So first we offer membership that comes with benefits, and then we have our main service, the ISRC code that you find from RISA. And I can I break this down a bit? So this is not me as a RISA employee, this is just Asanda as part of the industry.
Yes.
For me, it's very important when you are working on something, when you are creating something, like you create songs every day, that's a catalog when you put them together.
Yes.
But it's very important for you as a person to be able to track and preserve that catalog, right? Whether you are planning to build it, get to 100 and sell it, or you are planning to get to 100 and let your daughter inherit it, you should be able to track it, you know. The person who is not you next to you trying to help you do something, they should be able to go online and search using your name or using your ISRC code and find all your works and be able to pull up stats on you. And that's what RISA does. So if you get your code with RISA, then whether you are a label or an independent artist, it means you now got an ID. You now got an identifier in the industry as a copyright owner or a master recording. Can I take that again? I lost my train of thought.
No problem.
I'm sorry. I felt like I was talking too much.
Nah,
Oh my God. Okay, so once you have your ISRC code, it means now your catalog can be identified and can be tracked.
Okay.
So when you are releasing your songs, wherever you are releasing from and whatever platform you are using your code. Should there be any issues that happen, God forbid there's none, but if there are any issues, we are able to go back and prove this is a sound recording that I own, this is the code embedded to it, and this is the code that I own.
That's a very important role right there.
Very important. So whether you are a label or not, even worse when you are a label, because then it gets more complex.
Yes.
So when you are a label, you get to sign an Asanda and you sign as somebody else, and they release under your label. But that's not a forever deal, that's a 3-year deal. And then Asanda is going to move on to another label tomorrow and keep releasing music, or release independently and keep releasing music. The last thing you want is having to hear, oh no, we did collect, but we've paid to that label.
Yeah.
Right? Because the works, well, we thought the works belonged there.
To them. Yeah.
And now you will need your code to prove, no, these are the codes embedded on these works specifically, and this code belongs to my company. I own these works specifically, right? So all of those things are very important for you to be able to identify your own catalog and be able to track it and be able to follow up, because at the end of the day, this is an investment.
Exactly, yes.
And if you just put money out there, imagine if you had a spaza shop and you just keep bringing in stock and writing nothing down, and you've got no code whatsoever. You don't know how many millimil you've got on how many bags of rice you've got. You're just putting it in there and hoping that money will come. That might not work. Your business will not grow. But the moment you've got a book down and you've got a record and you're like, this is millimil number 5, so I'm now expecting 100 rand, then you know you're looking for 100 rand. So once you have your code, it will help you keep track of how many songs you own, so how much you were expecting and what you were expecting. It helps you be able to ascertain the value when you know how much you've got. But if everything is scattered, it's very hard for you. And also artists are creatives, not administrators.
Yeah.
So you need a certain tool or something that's going to help you. So RISA offers that tool, because we have a portal. After offering you the ISRC code, we also have a portal where you go and upload all your songs, and whenever you need your records, you can go back. Whether you find a deal and you're getting signed and they like how much value, what are we signing you based on?
Yeah.
You can go back and say, this is my catalog, for sure. Proof of ownership, here's my code.
Lovely. That's perfect. That's perfect. And so this takes me to what I always tell the children at ASE and when I do guest lectures and so on, is that my first stop as a creative would be you guys, RISA and then Samro. Now, if you're talking to a young creative, what are the stops that you would direct them to make when they've just completed their first project? You've just made the music, now you want to get it out there. We're not going to say drop it, because when they drop it, they usually pirate themselves.
Yes.
No, you want to release this music, you want to get it out to the world. How would you go about doing it?
I'd say RESA. So you are allowed to go on our website, and when you go on our website and register as a user, it is free. But on that website, there is, on the bottom right, there is a chat box where you can ask a question after you've registered as a user and we've approved. You can just go on the bottom right and ask whatever question you have, and you get an answer. But apart from RESA offering an access code, it is also an information hub for the industry, for the artists, especially those ones who are not exposed to such knowledge and tools. Right. So first up, go to RESA. You can go online, you can go physically, you can call.
Yeah, okay.
It's up to you. And then you can get your code and make sure you are ready to release, because every platform you're going to plug into, every aggregator will require you to have that code. Then you have your code, you are ready to release. But now you are not sure, after I've released using this code, what's the next step? You can still ask at RESA and ask them, please break down for me which other organizations and which other rights do I own. And should there be any infringement case, you can always go back. RESA has, as part of their membership benefits, anti-piracy department. If you sport anywhere that's where your music is being used unlawfully, you can just always drop RESA an email as well, or drop by.
That's so awesome. And you know what? I've actually seen that anti-piracy department when I've come to the building. I saw police. I said, why they got cops here? But you guys were just doing the job. You're making sure that, I think it was the taverns that had jukeboxes were operating with the correct license and everything was up to date. So I have to applaud you, because there's not many, well, there isn't anyone except for you guys that are going around and making sure that people are so compliant. So big up yourselves on that one. And I think the next question would lead us into the publishing realms, because now you've released the song, you've got your ISRC code, you've registered your stuff at Samro, perhaps it's playing on the radio stations now. How does publishing assist, and how does publishing work for these young artists coming in the game?
So I think the most important thing is figuring out, what are you trying to achieve?
Yes.
All right. So once you understand that, once your song is out there, it needs to be registered with collection societies like Samro and Capasso for them to pay for mechanical and performance royalties. And then you are now pushing the song and placing it on radio. One, your publisher will help you in terms of ensuring that everywhere your song gets used, it is properly licensed, and you are compensated fairly.
Okay.
That is what your publisher is going to do. It's supposed to protect your copyright, but also ensure that it is exploited and makes money for you. If you are signing with Jaca Entertainment as a publisher, Jaca Entertainment is supposed to ensure that all your copyrights are notified with the relevant collection societies properly. And after that, they are supposed to make sure that if there is opportunities for your music to be used, whether you're creating library works or you're doing commercial works, for your music to be used in film, gaming, and adverts, and all of those things, your publisher takes care of your licensing as well, which is what we call a sync license. Sync deals. They take care of that. And then you find these days, we do it a lot. Like I've seen as well, I've got like apps on my phone where I test out AI in my spare time. So you will be writing lyrics and it will say, this song is similar to a Beyonce song. Right, which means it is prompting a sample. So all of those samples, adaptations, all of those things, those are the things that your publisher would be handling. That's the type of admin that falls under publishing. So if I sample your song, your publisher is supposed to ensure that I've either compensated or got the rights to sample that song, and we are clear on how you are earning as the original creator of that work that I've used.
100%. And I'll tell you what, my publisher has saved me many a times. especially when I've been working on the hip hop side of things. You know, in hip hop, we love to sample and so on. And the publisher's been the one that's assisted me with getting clearances for songs. So all the way from Motown Records to having clearances from Blue Mountain Records, which is a company in Jamaica. These are the guys who went, communicated, got the percentages. They did all the hard work for me and got the songs cleared. So I find it to be a very, very important thing within this industry. Do you think that our young guys that are pushing out their music to radio, and the young ladies out there, do you think that they're utilizing the works of the publishers enough, or are songs slipping through the cracks, getting to radio, people are bumping their heads and ending up in hot water?
I think social media probably has a hand in this, right? Sometimes people they have like a rollout plan, and they drop a song like officially. You like set a date. This is the date. This is the day I'm dropping. But sometimes you're like, oh, I actually did a clip or a reel, and this received a lot of reactions.
Yes.
Let me just lick it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when you lick it, and then somebody picks it up and jumps on it.
Yes.
And now it's a you against them, or they stole my song, or you put it out there. You didn't register the song. You didn't notify it anyway. You just put it out there,
100%,
right?
yeah.
And then instead of them like going back to their publisher and saying, this is what I have done,
Yeah.
which I shouldn't have, but this is where I've landed, kindly follow up on the case. And don't go on social media and be like, and mess up. You could build a relationship. At the end of the day, somebody jumps on your beats. I'm not saying there aren't people with ill intentions, don't get me wrong, but most of the time when people jump on your song that you released 3 years ago, it's because they love the gem, but they think in this day, this is how it would sound, and they jump on it, which is a beautiful thing. That is them bringing back your song as well, because once I hear that sample, I'm then going to want to find the original. So it's boosting you in the same time. But if it is handled professionally by someone who understands the licensing and the rights involved, then there will not be a mess, but rather an established relationship. So I think if young people could actually get used to the fact that, yes, you have your freedom to put your works out there, nobody is tying you down, you can put them out there, but actually make sure that all the parties that you expect will protect you should you have an issue are notified before you put it out there.
Lovely. It's like having a bulletproof vest before you go to war. They keep you safe.
You know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, anything can happen there. So we know things can turn ugly sometimes, even if we didn't mean it like that. And sometimes you can have a beautiful opportunity.
Yes.
You can actually get a beautiful offer, but you can underquote because you did not know what's the rate in the industry currently.
True.
And you need somebody who's clued up about the business to say, okay, if they are licensing your song, just your song, and just for social media, this is the rate for this song, and for a song of this caliber and an artist of this caliber, because all of those things come into play. You need to understand image and likeness, licensing, all of those things. And if you have a publisher, it's easier for you to say, okay, let me drop them an email, this is the deal, depending on whatever relationship or contract you sign with your publisher. Because also all of these things and all of these benefits depend on that piece of paper that you sign.
100%. And when you were speaking, in my mind, it was flashing immediately to Maglera Dope Boy with his song that he got onto the Netflix movie with one of the Wayans brothers. I think it's Marlon Wayans or something. And he got a song on there. I think it was through Sony. And I'm sure it's going through the exact process that you're speaking about right now. They had to go through all of that in order to get the song onto these platforms. And I know as RISA, you guys work with sister societies in all of these different nations. So you'd be collecting or speaking to these societies and creating relationships that would be benefiting the artists here in South Africa. Now, in terms of somebody like a Maglera Dope Boy or anybody else who's getting their music put out there internationally, how would your relationship with the sister society be a benefit to them?
So most collection societies, I'm not now mentioning Rev, I'm speaking Samro, Capasso, Sampra, all of those. They would have those bilateral agreements. And the reason for that is because those collection societies in those territories, they collect in their territory, and then they pay money via our local collection society, who then distributes to either the author or composer or the publisher that's their member. The same process when it's a label or an artist when you are a SAMPRA.
Yes.
It's that same process. And also with publishers would also have those sub-publishing agreements with other publishers in other territories for those opportunities, exactly like a Shia Publishing will be maybe a part of a downtown, and the downtown will offer the same services or do the or handle the same admin that Shia handles in South Africa for all the Shia clients in their territory, and that makes it easier. And also, if you are now independent and you are not signed with a publisher and you are signed with your local collection society, one, you're not allowed to be a member of more than one performance rights collecting body. So you cannot be a member of SAMRO and a member of PRS maybe at the same time, just making an example. So SAMRO will now be responsible for ensuring that whatever monies that you've made in the other territories, they are collected and you were paid. That's why organizations like SAMRO would have different distributions in the year. They will have like 4 distributions, and you'll find they've got radio in general, they've got digital, they've got international and foreign, all of those things. Yeah. It's because they're trying to cover all of these revenue streams and making sure that people are getting paid. Because now with the digital, music plays all over the world. It's not like the CDA where you just sold to your people that can see you and meet you. For now, anywhere in the world, right? And most of the time, our sounds as Africa just blow up.
Yeah, it does.
They really just blow up. So having all of those structures and having the industry structured like that, it ensures that people are compensated fairly. It doesn't matter whether music or copyrights are being exposed.
Awesome. Now we've done all of the admin, and let's get to the fun stuff. Our song is now doing good. We're number 1 on the radio at this point, okay? We've released, we've got our publishing in order, all the background is done, ISRC code, everything is done. Now, certification, how does this happen? We want to go up in the chart, we want to go gold, platinum. How does this happen?
This is one of the things that RISA does. So as a RISA member, you then go to your distributor.
Yes.
So I'm talking the Orchard, Africory, Virgin Music, all of them. Or you are using a DIY platform, your DistroKid, your Detour, your CD Babies, all of those. Yes. There's a lot of those as well. Yes. So if you go on there, you ask for your sales data.
Okay. So
usually with record labels, they would just do it for their artists and then they do the plugs. But if you are independent, you go to your distributor, you ask for your sales data. If you are on a DIY platform, you go on your bank, depending on where that is, and the wording is usually different, but it's usually the same thing. Sometimes it's called excruciating data, and that's what you are looking for. And that's the breakdown, like the detailed Excel sheet that says where your music sold and for how much. Yes. And then you send that to RISA. And somebody at RISA will make sure that according to their conversion rates, which are available on our website as well, they calculate to see what you qualify for, whether it's a gold or a platinum or whatever. And also, this is very important, like when you visit the RISA website, to check out the conversion rates, because usually they change and they get updated, and we send it to members. But some people miss emails, and we understand that, so we still have the information available there so that you also understand. But also it helps you understand where you put your effort when you are pushing.
True.
Because then you get to see, okay, these are the platforms that count, so this is where I put my effort. The same thing you do when you are doing a radio tour. When you're doing a radio tour or you are doing your PR strategy, you want to know, this is where I end, so this is where I push more, this is where I invest more. The same thing with certification. Once you go on our site and you read, then you would know, these are the platforms that they use. We use BMET data. It is powered by BMET, the same company that gives us the data for the charts that we release weekly. industry as RESA, yes. So just ensuring that you've got that right and you read about that more. If it puzzles you or dribbles you, call.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. And then let's talk about the levels. I know that when you look at the American artists, they'll be saying things like, I'm 8 times platinum, or this is a diamond album. In South Africa, do we have those levels, diamond or 8 times platinum, or what is the highest peak that you could hope to achieve when you're submitting your music for such?
The highest I've seen, I don't think we are limiting it and not going there. I think we are behind when it comes to this whole digital and numbers thing. They started earlier than us. You can check their numbers. They've got songs like on 300 billion. We've never seen that as yet. So depending on your numbers, that decides what you qualify for. The biggest I've seen, I think it's a 4x platinum.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
I think that's the most I've seen. I've never seen more. I haven't seen more than that. But not to say it won't come. Like I've seen, like I said, RESA does the stats. We are an information hub because we do all of those stats in the industry and we make sure that they are available as well and we share them with our members. And that type of data helps us see the growth in the market, in our market, right? So I remember 4 or 5 years ago, you would see like big artists like Casper, when they reach 10 million, we'll be like, yay, I saw an artist with 10 million views, 10 million streams on YouTube, right? And now we've got new kids on the block like Unkashemba who would have like more than 10 million streams in 2 weeks. We've seen them, right? Amapiano also just showed us a new range of numbers that we'd never seen in South Africa, right? So I think really the levels, we are going to keep growing as the numbers grow.
Of course, yes. And I wanted to ask, as an information hub, RESA, do you have information, if one of your members had to ask, for example, for information on societies that are also part of your membership, for radio stations, for example, that are part of the RESA, under the RESA banner, are you able to brandish them with such information, or is it more information that would pertain to more your publishing and which CMOs to see and those type of things, or what type of information are you willing to share and what type of information can you not share?
If you are a member, we already do share the top 200 every week. We send it out twice, Monday and Friday, or we send it Friday and Monday. I'm getting the circle wrong.
The Monday and then start off the Friday.
Yes, and we do the New Music Friday as well, and then we have a newsletter where we highlight the top performing songs and we write up stuff to know about that. We can release the information. If you needed information on the convention rates and you wanted to find out how to qualify for gold, for platinum, all of those things, so that you can make informed decisions, we can release that kind of information. If you wanted us to refer you to collection societies and you wanted to understand where do I go to for what, we'll definitely share that. Nice. What we cannot do as RESA is refer you to a certain record label or say go to a certain radio station.
Yes.
That we cannot do. We represent the whole industry and everybody at RESA is standing on equal ground. Whether it's a multinational or an independent, or we are all standing on equal ground. So we can never say to you, go to this label, or don't go to this one. We will just say, find a record label. Where you find the record label, how you find a record label, that's up to you. Even with publishers, we'd say, oh, for those kind of queries, you need a publisher. But we can never say this publisher, right? If you're asking about collection societies, it is much safer for us to give that because there's only one Kapaso in SA. There's only one Zamra in SA. And then there's like Sampra and Impra. There's not many, there's Echo and Rev, there's not many collection societies. And in a way, we all end up collaborating because we represent the same people.
Yes.
but different rights.
100%, yeah.
So in a way, that's why you will find us when we do workshops, we're all together in that poster. Because at the end of the day, we are representing, we are building the same person.
Love it, love it. And I like how you're saying it's all about fairness, and that's what it has to be. An industry that's built on fairness goes a long way. I love what you guys are doing there. Now we've reached the 4 times platinum. The song is out there. We are now nominated Summer Awards. How's it going down? Tell us about the Summers. Firstly, how do we even submit for the Summers before we even nominated? How do we submit?
Caution before I start on the Summers, I think I should say this. I always say this. Please note, let me say it more formally, kindly note that the Summers were established by RISA in order to award or recognize the excellence in the music industry of creators and performers, right? Regardless of where you fall in the status quo. Like, whoever, as long as you have recorded a body of work and you have rights to enter it for the Summers or any other awards, you can enter the Summers.
So I don't have to be 4 times platinum or anything?
No. So the Summers have different categories, right? We've got genre categories, and then we've got the top 5 categories, and then we've got the 2 special categories, right? So under the genre categories, you have different genres: maskandi, reggae, gospel. There's faith-based, there's rock. There's so many categories. As long as you have a rock album that was released within the qualifying period, you can enter for the Summers. We have a panel of judges that decide on who gets nominated and who wins. Okay. And those judges are different people from different walks of the industry who are experts in different genres that make the judgments and score, and then we have your winner. There's a process of auditing and everything else. So it's not necessarily about popularity in those genres, but it is about creativity, the production, the engineering, all of those things. That's all it's about, not necessarily who owns the work, if you know what I mean. And then you've got the top 5 categories. The top 5 categories, they depend on recommendation from now this pool of judges that we have as the Summers. So if somebody listens to a song and be like, you know what, in the past year, Don Dada did this and this and this, and I think that qualifies him to be Male Artist of the Year, you know, and then they recommend you. The more recommendations you have for certain categories, the more chances you stand to be nominated in that top 5 category. And that's Album of the Year, Group or Duo of the Year, Female Artist of the Year, Male Artist of the Year. What's the other one? There's probably one that I'm forgetting because there's 5.
Album?
I already said album, duo,
song,
male, not song of the year. We have record of the year. Those are the top 2 ones. So the record of the year and the music video of the year, those ones depend on popularity.
100%.
Those 2. Yes. So that's where a person who's got a double platinum would be, because that one that depends really on your numbers. So we will receive the top 20 songs in that year in terms of numbers and streams, and then that top 20 is put out, and then people vote, cut down top 10, people vote, and the one with the most loyal fans win.
Lovely.
Basically.
It's pretty simple. Cut and dry.
Your team needs to come up with marketing tactics, or people just genuinely love you.
That's true.
You know? And also, I think when it comes to anything that depends on fan community, it depends on the kind of community that you're looking at. Most of the time with popular music, like what we consider as commercial music, there's a lot. A whole lot. And we all listen to it, but not a specific person. And then you would find that with maybe traditional music genres, you know, they have their people. Like with with jazz artists, we will all listen to jazz, most of us, right? But there's always those hardcore fans that will make sure that they pull up, they're there for you. Maskandi is the same, even worse. They make sure they pull up.
Cool.
You know, you don't even have to lobby. Like once they say Hlangana Zulu, they're there.
They know, yeah.
You know, we know it.
Yeah.
So those ones really, they depend on popularity.
Nice.
They depend on a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's the numbers that talk there.
Okay. Lovely. You know, it's quite a simple process, and it's a process that unfortunately most of the public don't know about, and I guess that can lead to a little bit of frustration and so on. But one thing that I can also applaud you guys at RISA and at the Summers for doing is for trying to find new blood and unearthing new talent. As you said, in the genre categories, it's not dependent on your popularity or on how much money you've spent on this project, but on how good it sounds. What is this art that you're reflecting? You're mixing, you're mastering. What is this art piece? So I love what you guys are doing there. Looking at these upcoming summers, and let's talk about this hybrid model that's now taking over the industry. People are going away from the television platforms, which I fully understand. We're now got all these streaming platforms that are taking over. How is this affecting the rollout for something like the summers? I'm sure it was one of the flagship shows for SABC in the year that it's rolling out in.
I think maybe that starts here. After COVID, a lot of things changed. Not just in the music industry, not just in the eventing space, like a lot of things changed, right? And as years go after COVID, we've seen a lot of marketing budgets being cut and all of that, you know, sponsorships going down. Some companies even went out of business. Right, and now that forced us to now think out of the box. How do we not lose what we originally had, but still be able to accommodate everybody? Right. So if we can no longer make the summers as big as they used to be as a physical event, what else can we do to make sure that the summers still reach the people? Because the summers are for the industry, they are for the people, you know? So hence the hybrid approach that we came up with to say, okay, we see all of these challenges that are not just summer awards challenges or research challenges, that are industry-based challenges like the entertainment industry, not just the music industry. How then do we mitigate that? And then hence we came with all of these things. And I think when it comes to making sure that feed is live on social media and all of that, those are the things that is us trying to make sure that everybody still remains part of the summers.
Yes.
That we've still got South Africa as a whole.
100%.
That's
and
the
I
whole
think
point.
it's also very appealing for the younger generation. I mean, these digital platforms, they love it. So when they see it like Summers on YouTube, they'll be on YouTube watching it. It's a good thing.
And the talkability around it. Like, I know sometimes there's like negative comments and we're worried because we're the team, you know, because it's hitting home. But you know, the beautiful part about us being this accessible is the fact that people have access to us, so they can tell us their thoughts. Nice. And those thoughts are really what helps us shape this to look even better, right? So the more we give people access and not just say, because imagine if we said, okay, this year we can only afford to accommodate 5 people, so we're doing 5. You know? Instead of just saying, okay, we cannot accommodate 5 people physically, but we can go online and make sure people can stream live on YouTube, the full show, everybody's part of it, and then the broadcaster is a partner, so they're coming in as well. So we still got the old folks with us as well in front of their TV screens, which is nice. And then we know the young folks are probably going to come there and be like, oh, that outfit, oh, that flower, oh, that was dope, oh, that was nay, you know? And we're learning, and we appreciate those learnings. Those are the kind of things. And I think I'm one of those people who are not big on social media. Like, if you checked my Facebook, my profile pictures from like when I still worked for Shein, that was years ago. Okay. My profile picture on Facebook. But I think working for RISA and being exposed to so many people and especially creatives, I now spend more time on social media, even if I'm not posting, just to check and see what people are saying about our recent post. You know, every time we release our newsletter and we share it on Instagram, I want to go and see what people are saying and how we can improve.
100%.
And that's the nice thing about this age.
I love that. And I also, one thing that I love with this hybrid thing, the nominations and the whole nomination event was also put onto the YouTubes and all of those digital platforms, which was an inside look that people ordinarily didn't get to see. They would only see the big night, but they were missing the nominations and all of that. So it's a little bit of a behind the scenes.
Yes.
Awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about the other provinces, because I know that Johannesburg, we've had the summers, Northwest or Sun City area, they've had the summers, KZN, they've had the summers. Do you think the other provinces might just be lucky enough to get a taste of that summer magic sometime in the future, maybe in Cape Town or, you know, a Bloom, or who knows?
Like I said, it's the South African Music Awards, so it could happen anywhere in South Africa, depending on where the summers can afford to go that year.
100%.
Yes. So if there's any other provinces that are interested, like I said, RISA has an open door policy because we are an everybody's organization. Send an email.
Talk to you guys.
Do that info@samusicawards.co.za and be like, we are interested in hosting the summers, Summer 33. Can we talk? And I'm sure something might come out of the talk.
Yeah.
This is like about my pay grade, but I'm sure that's...
No, but what you're saying is it's a very powerful statement, because, as you said, the summers are for South Africa as a nation. And if the opportunity is there for the other provinces to get a little foothold in it and say, look, let the summers come here for a while, put a spotlight on us, I don't see anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
They are for South Africa at the end of the day.
100%.
Even if it's Eastern Cape, it's South Africa.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, and every province, and what I love about South Africa is that every province has their own genre, like a genre that was born from that. Like there is, like in KZN, they have Maskandi, they have Rome, and you go to Limpopo, they have Shikaza, you know, they have Likompo, you come to Joburg, Gauteng, they have Amapiano, you know, every province has something. We know Eastern Cape is very big on Afropop, and they have beautiful Baka sounds, right? Umbaqanga, you know, every province does have something unique that they offer, that if probably the summers where they could be highlighted and be the star of the moment, you know? That's what I love about South Africa.
Me too. So diverse, so beautiful, and so much culture just melting into one. It makes us such an exciting place to be. And that reminds me, your favorite summer moment so far, if you had to pull back a memory in your memory bank, what would that favorite moment be? No, take your time.
My first summers, Summer 13, when the credits went up. Personally, that was my favorite. That was the biggest platform my name has ever been.
Nice.
And I was very happy. But that night, when I saw, so there was a hip-hop segment.
Okay.
And I'm going to highlight this not because I'm a big hip-hop fan, but also because that showed me the power of how platforms like the Summers can actually revive a whole sound.
Yes.
You know, Summer 30, we saw a lot of genres on stage and how it was all curated. Every genre just made sense, and all those were South African genres. So for me, those segments, man, I saw a lot of people getting booked after that. So I'm like, this actually worked, you know? For me, that was a very big moment for music in South Africa, right? Yes, I think that was my favorite summer moment when I was just standing there and watching all those performances one after another. I'm like, damn, I'm part of this. This is so beautiful. Yeah.
No, and I must
witness
say
that
thank
live.
you. You guys have really done a lot to put a spotlight on communities that at times, you know, may fall by the wayside. They may not be playing on radio, but they'll get a chance to perform on the summer stage. So you guys have really gone the extra mile to make people feel inclusive with what they're doing. Of course, there's always room to grow. There's mistakes in every organization, and you guys are growing. But I will say that as the mainstay, as the flagship awards ceremony of music in South Africa, you guys are doing an amazing job. So congratulations on what you guys are doing. And I guess my question would lead